You're welcome to Canvas and Conversations. This is a platform for creatives where we delve into their journeys and, most importantly, their processes. So today with me I have Big X.
My name is Michael Dakwa, but my company name or my stage name is Big X Studios. So I'm basically into photography and a little bit in videography as well.
So I would want to know how this whole journey started for you and how it is going so far.
Okay, so basically the journey started in 2017, but I started really working in 2018. In 2017, I had my first camera, which was Rebel T5 and one kit lens. So in that year, I was finding my way. Like I wanted to know how to operate the camera, how to take pictures and all of that, because I realized that the pictures from my phone then was far more better than the ones on the camera. So I realized that I needed to probably seek some kind of education on how to navigate through those things. So that was when it started. And then in 2018, I started coming out, like letting people know that this is the work I do, putting myself out there, and then socializing with other people. Yeah, so that's where it started, basically.
So that's beautiful. So what sparked your love or what inspired you to tread this path as a creative? Because I believe there are so many things that you could have done. So what inspired you or what sparked that love in you to be a creative and more specifically a photographer?
In my secondary school year, I was so much into those creativity. In JHS, I started drawing. Yes, I learned how to draw. It was quite easy. It wasn't something that was really hard. So I started. Yeah, exactly. So I started drawing, and then from the drawing, I realized that you just have to learn how to shade so that the pictures and the image will look more realistic and all of that. So when I go back when we get into SHS, I was in an art class, but what the art was more on, it was general art, so it was about government, economics, and all of that. But in my class, at the point, I thought I was going to be probably an actor. I thought I was, but as I grew up, I became shy a little bit. So I said, oh, probably I would rather be behind the camera than to be in front of it. So yeah, so it started from there, with the arts and then school and all of that. We were not really finding ourselves as at that time. But when I got to tertiary, that was where it all began. So with that one, I could use my phone to take pictures perfectly. As at that time, I was using HTC One. They were the first one that to come out with correct cameras and all of that. So I could take pictures perfectly, and a brother of mine saw the kind of pictures I was taking with my phone and said, you do well in photography, do you know that? And I said, yeah, I know, because you can see the kind of pictures that I take and the editing that I make. So yeah, so he first sponsored me with my first camera, which was the Rebel T5. So right after school and right after service, the job market was a bit scary. So I decided that, okay, I already have a knowledge in this field, so why don't I venture rather than to be writing application to seek for jobs and all of that. So that was when it started. I got the first camera. I have learned something. Then I took my first photo. So the first picture, it was more about photo manipulation. So I wanted to create something like a slippery, somebody who is falling, and then the person is in the mid-air. So I wanted to create a picture like that, but you can't purposely fall just like that. So you just have to Yeah. So I planned with one colleague of mine, and we staged the whole thing. And then when I created it, posted it on Instagram and WhatsApp, people were so amazed, and it really went far. And that was how the journey began.
So I believe that was the particular work that made you feel like, oh,
Yes,
this is what I'm meant
yes, I can do more of this and all of that. Yeah.
Has there been any point in your career where you felt like your work is not so much appreciated as you expect it to be appreciated? Let's say, for instance, you post something and the kind of traction or the kind of engagement you expect to get, you wake up the next day and you see they are not where you expected them to be. Do you ever experience that?
Well, I have never felt like that because once I create whatever that I want to create, so long as it makes sense to me, it's really perfect. So long as it makes sense to me, it's really perfect. And um, the reason why people might think that their work are not being appreciated enough is because of the social media, the likes and the comments and all of those things. But so long as I send pictures to you or I give the picture to somebody, they stare at it for more than 3 seconds. It means there's something about it. Do you understand? So for me, basically, I have never felt like no, the pictures are not appreciated unless they are images that I'm creating for probably a paid client. Yes, so if a client book me and then I work and I put in the work and then you later realize that they have put on some kind of a filter on the pictures, that will tell you that they are really not happy with what you give them.
So for you, it's when the client says either they like it or not, but for your own personal works, you never feel like that.
No. For my personal works, I have never felt like that.
So what is your creative process like from the ideation to the final product? What steps do you go through to create your art?
Sometimes the motivation or the creative process can even come from any visual aspect. So it could be like maybe watching a music video, a movie, for instance. It can spark the creative idea. So most of the images that I have created, most of the inspirations comes from music video. Yes, I could see some from them, and then I realized, oh, let me recreate this. Or sometimes to from mood boards, and sometimes to you just have to, think and create something. It could be I really love playing games, so I could get some inspirations from there. The latest project that I've worked on, I have not posted it yet. I got the inspiration from this game, The Last of Us. Okay, so it's more or less like a zombie survivor kind of game, and in the game there's this particular zombie that they've created. When you see from the zombie, their head looks like a dissected flower, but they are zombies. But the head of the zombie looks it's dissected. So I said, okay, so this is how the zombie looks like. Okay, let me take it back to when when that person wasn't a zombie. How would they look like if they were not a zombie? So it's like, let me create something of that flower sort, but this time they are not a zombie. Do you understand? Yes, exactly. So that's how I get. Those are some of the places that I get inspirations and ideas to create.
So do you ever experience creative blocks, or have you gotten to a point when you feel like you're getting no more inspiration to create, and How is it like for you? Do you ever experience any creative blocks?
Yeah, sometimes you get to that point. Sometimes you would want to create a piece of art, but the blocks will come from who are you going to use to create that? Yes. So even if you get the person, where are you going to create it? And in our society, as at now, they have this stereotype of photographers like sometimes having some sexual activities with their clients and models and all of that. So in order for you to not to have that perception about you, how will you convince that model that you do not have that perception? So you need to create something in an open space. Now you need to find that open space. It doesn't have to be a space that will be you and the model, because probably that person is a human. She can be thinking of how to safeguard herself and all of that. So sometimes those are the blockages that I experience. And I remember there was this model that I wanted to shoot with. The shoot that we were doing, it wasn't necessarily a nude photo shoot, but it was semi-nude, because she has to take off her clothes so that we could coat her with gold dust. Yes, so I will have to be the one to do it. I can't do this in my home because I don't want her to think that I have this intention. Yeah, so we went to a studio. I had to talk to the guy. The studio was a very busy one, so I had to talk to the guy, the owner of the studio, that this is what I want to create. Like we took days ahead, and then we informed them, so they gave us the time and then the day that we should come in. So when I went there, and then there were a bunch of people around, the girl felt comfortable, for me to put this gold dust on her, and she didn't feel any certain kind of way. So sometimes those things are the blockages that are associated with your creative or my creative idea. Yeah.
So being a creative and looking at your whole journey, how do you deal with creative blocks when you get them?
Sometimes you just have to relax. Once you get to the point of not getting any motivation or any ideas, you just have to pause and then relax. Probably the reason why you're not getting those ideas or motivation is because you are stressed. Do you understand? You are stressed, you are thinking a lot about something. Probably you are more concerned about money, bills, and all of that. Those things could be a blockage for those things to come out. So yeah. So for me, I will just relax. I will just sleep for a while. Not like to relax this day, but it will take time. It could take a week or two, and then I wouldn't want to think about creating anything. Yes, I wouldn't want to think. But when I take that time off, sometimes the ideas start coming, and then you know what to create.
More like you step back, more like marinating.
Yeah, exactly. So you step back and then.
So is it inspiration or discipline for you? Do you always get inspired to create, or sometimes you have no inspiration but you need to just discipline yourself and create something?
So with it, yeah, sometimes I think they both go hand in hand. Sometimes you need an inspiration, and sometimes you need to be disciplined. You sometimes say that, tell yourself that, oh, I haven't been creating for quite a long time, so I need to start creating. With that one, you don't need the motivation. You just made up your mind that you have to create. So now you need to start thinking of the kind of things that you will create. Do you understand? So yeah, it goes both ways. You sometimes need the motivation. The motivation can come from visuals. Yes, what you see is what you begin to process on what you want to create about. And sometimes you give yourself the time and you say that, oh, I haven't been creating or be creative like how I used to. So I need to get back on track and start doing those things.
So, what do you think is the hardest part of being a creative in this era or in this space of ours? To me, being a creative personally, I think it's too expensive to be a creative in these hard times. Because if just one camera can cost around 30,000 Ghana cedis, how do you expect the average person who wants to venture into this space to be able to afford such a camera? And then even the accessories that come with the whole camera itself is too expensive. So that is for me. But I want to know how about you? Like, how what do you think is the hardest thing about being a creative now?
One thing that I think is very hard is most creative just want to be seen. Yes, so they will do everything in their power so that they will get the recognition, and some also would want the fame and all of that. So if you have that kind of mindset, things will be very difficult for you. Do you understand? So if you want to be seen, you want to be put out there, things will be very difficult, because at a point you realize that nobody is seeing your work. So how do you get them to see your work? And that is when you begin to think the unthinkable. You rather want to do something that will gain the attention of you, or you rather want to work for people for free so that you can get that kind of attention. So aside these things, I think another aspect is the cost of, creating a piece. Sometimes you need to have some budget. You are just creating, but you still need to have a budget for what you want to create. And if you don't have the funds, it will be, a blockage for you to create what you want to create. So I think for me, those are the two things. But me personally, it's not about me getting seen or being famous or anything. I just want to create and then channel my works to the right people. It's not like I want everybody to be. I want to be to be everywhere, so that people will say, "Oh, you know." No, that's not what I really want. I want to get to the right people, the right customer, the people that will see your work and then they will understand your piece of it. Yes, exactly.
So how much of you do you think is in your work? How much of yourself do you think you put in your work?
So, one thing I think you will find in most of my work is peace. The harmony when you see my pictures. So it's not about the pictures that I'm giving to clients. I mean, the pictures that I create for myself. Yeah, those personal projects that I create for myself. So you see that anytime you see those images, one thing you will experience is the peace, that comes with it. In order for you to understand what I was really creating, what it really entails, that is one thing you will find out. Just like I was talking about this zombie thing, zombies are known for distractions, but I want to revert from the zombie to a peaceful,
So hearing you talk about your creative process, are you able to teach people? Because it's it's not a regular kind of process that you see all around. So how do you go about teaching people? And then is it even possible to teach people? Because I don't think something that's such intrinsic is easy to let people in on it. How do you go about it?
So one characteristic about me is I'm very observant. So before I will give you any advice or tell you to do something or do this or don't do that, that means I have already observed you and I'm giving you the advice based on the observations that I've been able to gain from you.
You won't force yourself.
No, no,
Allow
no.
them to
Yes, I'll
treat them
allow
according to how
you
you
exactly. So when you come, I will just be observant. I will just observe you and then see how you do your things. So when I see or when I'm able to have that conclusion, then I will give you the advice that will suit you. Yes. So in case I give you the advice and you decide not to, take and you decide to do, anything you want to do, that will be entirely up to you. Me personally, I don't force people to do things. I want them to be free. That's when you begin to see how vulnerable they are.
So what's that one thing or one art that you've not created yet, but you feel deep within that you have to create sooner or later?
Okay, well, I wouldn't say there's a particular one though. Okay, yes, there's one that I haven't created yet because I haven't gotten the right person to create that with. Yeah, so it's about the picture is more about a lady having a good time and being their self. So being their self in a sense that um, they are having their time without any distraction. So just like if you want to have a good sleep at night, you go, you take a cold shower, and you come, you sleep naked. You see, you don't really think about whether you would be bitten or whether something or somebody would. No, you just want to sleep and have that free breeze around your body. So that's one of the pieces that I want to create. So that's basically what it is about. But I haven't gotten the right model because just like I told you, I don't want a situation where someone would think that I want to take an advantage or anything. Yeah, because these days those things really goes on because rather you talk to somebody, they will have the concern and this is what you want them to do. But later on, when the projects start coming out and they are getting backlash from probably their parents or their loved ones, they will switch everything and they will say something like they were forced to or they weren't preview on what they were doing. Do you understand? So yeah. So I haven't gotten the right person to do that with. Yeah.
So I believe you've been on some major gigs and then some major projects. So what has been the highlight for you so far? Like the biggest one amongst all that you think is a mark for you?
Oh, okay. So one project that people know that I'm really best at is more about um, real estate photography. Yes. So real estate, food photography, and product photography. People really know me that for this part of this work, if you give it to this person, he will give you an excellent job because I've been getting calls from people that want to do that, but they are not meeting my price. Exactly. Some people just want you to do it and then accept anything. They think that because you are taking pictures of rooms and interiors and buildings, you do not deserve that amount of money that you are asking for. But there's a lot that goes in. There's a lot that goes in. So people do call me, but sometimes you don't meet. Some meet, some others don't meet. So you just move on.
So what has been the highest paid job for you? Like the one that gave you the most bucks. What do you think it will be?
Okay, so with real estates, I've worked with Super Lubeck group of companies. They own restaurant, they own a real estate, and the recent work that I did for them was Condos Lachichi. Yes, it's around Santase area. That was the recent work, and I think it was really because the place is very nice. So whilst I was working on that project, I really, really loved it. There are some that I'm working on, but they are not out yet. I haven't submitted to the clients yet. So until I have submitted them, that's when I can talk about them. But for the condos Lachichi, I have worked for them. They have other ones at there's another one, but I've forgotten the name. Yeah, and mostly their food, their restaurants, that the food that they portray on selling. I take pictures and videos of them for them too.
You see, sometimes it's easy for people to feel like when they see people who are doing so much in their space or their aspect of photography or creativity, they tend to feel like probably these people are superhumans. You don't feel sad, they don't feel down times, or they have no doubts at certain times. So I want to know, my people want to know whether you sometimes feel some doubts, sometimes doubt yourself or whatever.
A lot. Yes. For that one, it is a must. You will definitely feel the doubts, The doubts can even come from family. Because after my service, when I decided that I wanted to venture into photography, then the girl that I was dating, she didn't really understand why I wanted to do that, and she felt like I should rather seek for a permanent job and use the photography as a side job. And my mom, on the other hand, too, was like, she wasn't in support. She was like, I have taken you to university, paid your school fee, and all you want to do is to become a photographer. But one thing I keep telling her was that, this is what I can do for now. Probably if in the future, if there's something better, probably I will venture. I told her that those things because I wanted her to feel like, okay, I have maybe a vision or something that I want to do to better my life, but not necessarily relying on this. But after some time, as I was moving through, there was a point when she could ask for money from me and I would be able to give it to her, and she would be like, so you have all this money? And I would tell her, yeah, it's from the work that I'm doing. It's from the work. So the doubts, it will come, but you just have to be persistent. You have to be focused. You should know that this is what I'm going to do, and I'm doing it for life, and I want to do it properly so that in case there's a blessing that will come from it, I will be able to receive it. It's not like you want to do it and then you are just trying to find your way through it. If you get something better, then you will shift and then you will go. Some that's what some people will do. But me specifically, no, I wouldn't want to do that. I want to be focused. This is what I want to do. So you focus on it and then you do it throughout. Definitely, if you're going to be blessed, you will be blessed through that. Yeah.
So I want to ask you an interesting question. Imagine your life as a movie, yes, being played out. What do you think you would have titled that movie?
For that one, I would say the title would be The Pursuit of Happiness. Yes, I think that would be the biggest thing to describe the journey. So the pursuit, and I think that's a movie. Have you watched that? Yes. So you see how the journey started. Yeah, it was very emotional. Yeah, exactly. Because me, if I'm to tell you, there have been days that I have cried. I have cried and I have asked myself, did I really choose? I mean, did I really make the right choice? Yeah, so some days you get emotional, people won't understand what you're going through because they think that you being creative, you being behind the cameras, you see, when you are working, you are always happy, so people really won't really think that you have something, going down, like you have a soft spot, or you are facing some kind of challenges. But you just have to be persistent, and then you need to be focused. So just like the movie, that's how my journey has been. Now that I'm here, that's how it has been. There have been days that I was okay, there have been days that I was very down, and I couldn't really understand why it was getting to that point. There was days where there was this friend of mine which he came into photography through me. So he saw that I was into photography and he said, okay, because I really want to learn this your work, I need to, come so that you will teach me. I taught him, and then he's been working, he's been doing a great job though. But there were points he was really moving forward. Me, that I was the one teaching him, I was stuck, so I didn't really understand. You could see your colleagues moving forward, you would be on the down low thinking, how did you get here?
So imagine your works had a voice and they could speak back at you. What do you think they would have said to you?
If any time that I press my shutter or my camera, there's a piece of my soul that I show to the world. Honestly, yeah, so I think that would be one of the things my work would really tell me.
So what advice or what word of wisdom would you give to someone who wants to enter this space in this particular times that we are in? What advice do you think you can give them as a creative?
One thing I would say to everyone who wants to venture into photography or be part of the creative world is you just have to be focus driven. Also, you just need to be persistent. You do not have to let or allow yourself to be entangled with obstacles, thinking that once I'm facing this challenge, this will be the end of the journey. You just have to keep pushing and then rising through the ranks. That's all that I can say. So anyone who wants to be part of this journey, just be focused. Set your mind to rights, and then keep moving forward. Whatever resources, whatever help that you think you need, it will come once you are moving forward. But the moment you stop, that future or that goal or that thing you always thought that it will happen to you, it will never. But once you keep on moving forward, pushing, and then moving through what obstacles that you face, you get to the point where you say that I have reached, this is where I wanted to be, and this is where I am now.
So this is Canvas and Conversations, and this has been a nice convo with my brother, Big X. I believe you took a whole lot from him, because I also did. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and then comment.